All right, what we're gonna go over now in this video is find as another way to figure out the equation of the least squares regression line without just punching a bunch of x, y values and data points into your calculator. And that's because you can actually find the equation of the least squares regression line with the values of the standard deviations and the values of the means and correlation coefficient R. So let's see what we got here. So for the least squares regression line in the form y hat is equal to a plus bx, slope is b, a is the y-intercept. So if you have it in this form, the slope b will be equal to r times the standard deviation of y over the standard deviation of x. And the y-intercept, in this case, the y-intercept will be a. A will be equal to y bar minus b times x bar. In other words, the mean of y minus b times the mean of x. So sometimes this will actually be faster and save you time when working on your problems, especially if you're on a test and you got to crank something out and you're crunched for time. And the good thing is that this equation is actually going to be on your formula sheet. And yes, you could use that formula sheet on all your tests and on your AP exam. So make sure you're familiar with it. So let's go through a practice problem. That's always the best way to learn how to use this stuff. So referring back to the problem we did in the previous part where we have seat location and the grades, and we want to see the relationship. We found that the mean and standard deviation of the row numbers were 4.033 and 1.974, and the mean and standard deviation of the test scores were 81.2 and 10.135. The correlation between row number and test score is R is equal to negative 0.218. Find the equation of the least squares regression line for predicting test score from row number. Show your work. All right, so when you're going about it this way, you're going to need to find the slope first, because in order to find the y-intercept, you're going to need to have the value of b. Well, and technically, let's just go with that form. It doesn't really technically matter sometimes, but anyways, so I'm gonna go with b first. It usually makes it easier. So y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is equal to the correlation coefficient r equal to r negative 0.218 times standard deviation of y over standard deviation of x. Standard deviation of y is equal to 10.135. Standard deviation of x is 1.974. So do the math in your calculator is and we're going to get, you can see that's about 1.112 or 1.12 again, but let's make sure I didn't put the negative, but so it's going to be negative. Whoa, which matches up what we got in the previous problem. 1.1 rounded to the nearest hundredths, negative 1.12. Now to find the y-intercept a, we're going to use the mean of y, which was 81.2, minus the slope b, so negative 1.12, times the mean of x, times 4.033. And then let's go ahead, let's put that in our calculator. And we're going to get about 85.72. And then now we just put those together for our least squares regression line. Remember, it's y hat equals a plus bx. So y hat equals 85.72 plus a negative, so nice, we'll just write plus minus a 1.12x. Bang, there you go. That's simple.